This is video number 1800, and I tell you, I was taping this before, and I was getting a little long-winded, and I decided to tape this again to just try to get down to the nitty-gritty. I've got a whole sheet of things here I want to talk about, and this video might run a little long. I may have to make a part 2 and a part 3 and a part 657, I don't know. But it is not easy to make 1800 videos for YouTube. It really is not. And to make this particular video has been even harder. But on a video like this, I like to review some of the material I've covered before. And the first thing I'm going to say is that I am a Christian data processor. What is the difference between a data processor and an IT guy? The simple fact of the matter is, real data processors take raw data and convert it over into something that is readable, something that is presentable, something that people will understand. However, IT guys then take that presentation and pretty it up. They put the little flowers on, and they put the little this on, and little that, and it makes it just all flowery. That's what IT guys do. And D-pros eat IT guys for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's what we do. Okay? So that's the difference. Now notice I also said Christian. I am neither a priest, a rabbi, or a minister. I am not here to preach to you. I am here to state the facts. That's what a Christian data processor does. He takes the facts, he presents it to you. Now, I don't know if any of you people noticed, I've been doing a lot of response videos to a lot of people that have come close to committing suicide, to say they're telling us that they've been bullied. They have these little pieces of paper, they fly them around everywhere and let you see their life stories. And you probably wonder why I made those response videos. I did not go over there to say, hey, look, I'm a Christian and I'm going to convert you over to Christianity. I didn't do that. I didn't have to do that. I didn't want to do that. That's not what I'm here to do. I did like the parable of the Good Samaritan. Have you guys ever read the parable of the Good Samaritan? I wonder how many Christians really read that thing and really understand what's going on in that thing. The point was that the third guy in the story picked up the victim of the robbery, took him to an inn, and helped him clean up in the whole 9 yards. He wasn't just the kind of person that sat there and prayed around. Let me tell you something. It's okay to pray. God taught us how to pray. But then take the next step. Let me tell you something. You have a cancer patient, don't stand there and go to their bedside and preach them a sermon. Go to their bedside and, hey, I just want to be your friend. Let's eat and let's play games and stuff. Just tell me how things are. Share with me. Let me be your bouncing board. They'd appreciate that more than the sermon. But there was also another observation I made from those videos when I decided to respond to them. Not one of them ever mentioned that any Christian had ever visited them, had talked to them, had done anything with them. That's wrong. Jesus got involved. Shoot, he sat there and dined with sinners. What's the matter with us? He did that for 3 years, 24 hours a day. Now, no human being can do that 24 hours a day. Jesus was the Son of God. He was able to do that. We aren't. But a church body can. You're telling me out of 300 people, not one picked up on these stories and ever responded to them? I actually had a reverend tell me one time that since these social media sites are so full of sinners and so full of sin, he wouldn't even touch them. That's exactly the opposite of what's taught in the Bible. Jesus said, spread the good news. You can't spread it to people that aren't around. If they're not in your church house, find out where they are and go spread it to them. And if they don't like it, you can dust off your feet and you can go on to the next thing. St. Paul said that. He said, if they don't accept your message, dust off your feet and go on. Because somebody will. It's the wrong attitude. I wasn't telling you people that a minister has to operate 24 hours a day. What I was telling you people is that a church body has to operate 24 hours a day. That means you all take turns. Get about 20 or 30 of you and scour the internet and meet people and listen to their stories. Be their bouncing board. Start off with just being their bouncing board. They'd really appreciate that. Recognize them. If they want to be recognized, recognize them. If they don't, don't. But the approach that Christians are taking today is exactly the opposite of what has been taught in the Bible. Let me tell you something. I took a trip once, this was a long time ago, back in the very early days of the GPSs, when they were very, very expensive, they weren't commonplace, so on and so forth. I forgot to take a good map with me. I got lost in the countryside. I actually found a church. And the church janitor, now this was done on a weekday afternoon. This was not a weekend. This was not a, I was out there in the middle of the night type thing. I'm talking about an actual weekday. Middle of the afternoon. Not even late in the afternoon. We're talking middle of the afternoon on a weekday. The church janitor was more helpful to me than the actual reverend, because the reverend wasn't even there. Where was he? Who knows? There wasn't even anybody in a church staff. It was just the janitor. And the janitor was able to show me how to get back to wherever I could go so I could get back to civilization. When a church janitor is more helpful than the church staff needs to have a serious review. And I guarantee you God's going to give them that. But like I said, I'm not here to preach a sermon to you. That wasn't the idea. That was just a clarification of a video that I made called LinkedIn. That's what this whole thing was about. So if you watch that video, you'll understand what I'm trying to say. Or at least I hope so. And one of the things I really don't understand is when somebody doesn't understand what I'm trying to say, they don't ever leave me a comment saying, "What are you talking about? I don't understand. Can you clarify this?" They just jump to conclusions and leave. Another stupid thing. And let me tell you something. I made a video response to Brother Ryan Hicks. Okay? I'm not angry because he didn't respond back to me. I am very disappointed, though. And he didn't have to respond to me the day after or even 2 days, but it's now been weeks and he has never responded to me. Not a comment, not a video response, not a nothing. What's up with that? If you're not responding to me, well, what happens when somebody really gets into a crisis? I would love to hear your feedback. So like I said, I'm not angry, I'm just a little disappointed. You would think that somebody that is that Christian would respond back to your video. He never did. And I don't expect immediate responses, but my gosh, this is wrong. F. Total F. Not even a comment. F. That's what I call it. I give you grades because I am a data processing teacher now, and I am telling you that was F. Total failure. Now, if he ever does respond, which he might, and I hope he does, then I'll change his grade. But right now, that's an F. Okay. Now, having said all of that, I can say that I get a mixed bag of responses from people. Some are very positive. Some are negative. Well, I decided that after clearing up the LinkedIn video, I would then go ahead and list you some of the positives. Androcamela. That's all I can think of. It's Androcamela. Very positive person. Hopefully you'll check out their channel. The Jesse Mad. Check out their channel. Okay. Bart J. Austin. Bart J. Austin. Very nice person. I hope you check out this person's channel. Very nice. Okay, and I hope to hear more from Bart J. Austin. I hope he subscribes the whole 9 years. The Teen Talks. Very positive channel. Check them out. Eileen, I'm presuming that's spelled right, ELLEEN 2468. Very positive channel. Check them out. McCraws7. Positive. Very good channel. Zybon 456, I hope you check them out too. Hood 3 Demon, check out their channel. Candy Apple 3731, I hope you check out their channel. Very good channel. Montifesto, check out that channel. Well worth your time. Blue Angels, Let's Go, check out their channel. Willow 556, I hope you check out their channel. And Viral Videos Home, I know you really weren't much interested in my video response wars contest. I hope you spread it around. That way, if somebody really is, fine. But thanks for the response, and great channel, and I hope you keep right on going. But then we have other channels. MNREA 111. You might not care now, but let me tell you something. You ever get to the point where you're facing eviction and starvation, you might really actually care. And let me tell you something. If you don't care about my channel, that's fine with me. I have no problem with that. At least you were nice enough to just simply say, I don't care. And I can tell you there's been some responses that have been a little worse than this. But let me tell you something. You may not care, but there are others who probably will, and you may want to tell them about my channel because they may eat me up. Whereas you just say, I don't care. Fine. Alright, we have Lisa 13245 and iHoney. Lisa 13245 and iHoney. This is something I found very interesting. These people will get on, they'll watch a video, they'll leave a comment on that video, and then when I decide to not only respond to the video that they just watched and left a comment on, but I also decided to share that video response with them, they're sitting there going, well, why did you send this to me? Well, what, you thought nobody was going to comment back to you? Nobody was going to offer you feedback? That's silly. If you don't want feedback from somebody else, don't leave a comment on a video. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Well, actually, it's one of the dumbest things I've ever heard of, but I've heard a lot dumber than that. Let's go on. SOCRESSO. I understand your point of view. I will say this, okay? Probably I should have been a little more direct with what I was trying to say. I knew I was going to get the question of, well, you say that unit circles have to be one of something. And the first question comes to people, and I've done some tutoring on the side, okay? I don't just do it on YouTube. I actually do some tutoring on the side. And one of the questions is like, well, what kind of a unit are you using? Are you using a centimeter, a millimeter, a mile? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what unit of measure you use as long as that radius is 1. And yeah, I kind of did it a long-winded way, but I wanted to drive the point home. It doesn't matter what unit of measure you're using as long as it is 1 of something. And I should have been a little more direct with that. But I was trying to get these people to get it out of their concept. Don't worry about the unit of measure. That's not the point of the video. The point of the video is it was 1 of something. And I probably should have stated it that way and said, look, it's not the unit of measure that counts, it's the fact that it's 1 of something. And stopped it right there. And I didn't, and I'm sorry. And hopefully in future videos I'll try to make it more clear. We don't want you to focus on, I don't want you dwelling on this point, I want you dwelling on this point instead. You know, just don't ask the wrong questions. So, yeah, you're right, I did kind of get on a tangent, but I knew that question was going to come. I've had this kind of question type thing before, and I thought, well, I'm going to clear it up right now. Okay. 401 Gaming, I tell you, I cannot tell you how many people respond to me and they say, man, you've got this massive monumental YouTube channel. They want me to split everything up. But the thing is, I also get people that come back to me and say, well, man, I don't want to go through 5 or 6 different channels just to go find it. They don't want to search for anything. So I try to pile all this stuff into one spot where they can go to one place. And, you know, that's just like having 5 different stores in the same city. You don't want 5 different stores, you want one store with everything in it. Convenience. That's what this is all about, is convenience. And I run into that, and I tell you, that's why I had to do what I had to do. I had to actually make a video saying, okay, you've come to the right source, you've come to the right channel, and it's split up into these various categories, and this is how you sift through my channel. That way I don't have to split it up into 5, 6 different channels and you're running around like a chicken with its head cut off. So, another channel I recommend to everybody is Cammy's Candy Review. I hope everybody checks it out. Dogzilla 35 and Gauntlet of Destruction. Thank you for checking out my healthcare bill videos. I will continue putting those up there. I don't know exactly when, but I will. Matt and G 1997. I could still use your help with the looking for Lincoln Signs in Pontiac. And that also goes true with another person. I'm going to get to that just a little bit later. Ecox Boy. I'm guessing it's Ecox Boy. Thanks for watching my video about the new YouTube page. I had to make it because a lot of people were asking a lot of questions about it. Me Too on Tube. Me Too on Tube. Really, you know everything. I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt you have read every single sentence in the new healthcare bill. I certainly doubt that you know everything in Euclid's Elements. I certainly doubt that you know everything about hyperreal numbers, so on and so forth. And I could go on and on and on. I bet you probably don't know everything that's in the Constitution. I don't know everything that's in the Constitution, and I've been teaching you guys this stuff. I've been finding out things myself, just like the rest of you. So, yeah, I don't think you know everything, and I think you really better think that. One Holden Girl. I'm glad you're unaffected by the Australian floods. I was kind of hoping you would share my video with others that might have been affected and I could get their stories, because I'm sure you probably know a few. Let's see. Private Delta 9. I've said it before, I'm going to say it again. Who am I to send you videos? I'm a full-blown data processor. I know how to program in COBOL. I've shown you some high-end mathematics. I've shown you, I've even taught you people how to speak, read, and write Italian. So don't tell me who am I. The question is, who are you to say anything about what I do and the fact that I send you anything? Who are you to say anything to me? So, challenge there. Crunch 2K, Snake Jake 23. My thoughts are very valuable. And one of these days when you go up to get a soda and they tell you you can't have more than a 16-ounce soda, you're going to really think back to what I said in that video, and you're going to reckon with what I have to say. Let me tell you something. Go ahead, be dumb. But when it happens to you, well, don't say I didn't tell you. Ha. Chris L. Bresh Ears. Chris L. Bresh Ears. I don't know if you watched one or two of my videos. Obviously you did not watch all 1800. If you had, you would realize right now I'm not stupid. The only stupid person was you saying that to me. That makes you look dumber than an ox. Now, I may not be the smartest person in the world, but I am certainly not stupid. I'm sick and tired of hearing people saying, well, you're stupid. Really? I like to see you guys be able to do all those things which I taught you here on YouTube. Bull. Vespam Assi, or I guess Vespam Assi. I do know some Italian. Bear with me. As I get better, I'll communicate more and more with you in Italian. Mr. Badger 007. Check out his channel, and most importantly, check out his music. Illinois in focus, yes, I could still use your help with the looking for Lincoln signs in Quincy, so by all means help me out. But anyway, you can actually see that I do actually keep these videos. I actually had another YouTuber, I told him that. He had asked me some questions. I had actually answered most of his questions with one I never got around to. Just because the question is no longer valid for you doesn't mean that others won't ask the same question. That's why I save these comments, because then if I get a chance like now, I can finally answer some of these questions, so that even if you found your answer, maybe somebody else didn't, and I can start answering their questions. So, anyway, hopefully you guys got a lot out of this video. I try not to be all negative in videos, but sometimes that's very difficult. And what I'm really trying to get you people to do is don't just watch 1 or 2 of my videos and assume you know everything about me. Watch 1,500 of them, understand my point of view, and then respond to me. And ask questions. If you think that there's something that contradicts I say something that contradicts myself or whatever, ask me a question, and I'll answer. Because often there's more going on with what's going on in the world than what you're being told. Okay? So in other words, I may be telling you more than what you think I'm telling you. There may be more to the story than what you know. So by all means ask me, I will tell you. And yes, my content is very relevant. And for those of you who say that I'm spamming you, let me tell you something. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter has come out. I don't want people thinking that Abraham Lincoln is some kind of a Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's ridiculous. It's dead wrong. I don't want somebody coming back and saying, well, why didn't you tell us how bad the book Mockingjay really was? Because now we have dead kids in our school because their minds were warped by that book. Why didn't you tell us? Well, I did. You didn't want to listen? That's not my problem. Another thing was with this NBC Revolution. Let me tell you something. I'm not wrong on this, people. If a disaster like what was in NBC Revolution really happened, the human race would be wiped out within I would say 1 to 2 years. To see somebody saying that people can survive 15 years under those kind of conditions, it's absurd and it's stupid. And that's what I put on that video to tell you that is absurd and it's stupid, and why you guys are watching it, I don't know. You should not be watching things like that. If it's that absurd and that stupid, don't watch it. That's the last thing you need to have put in your brains. This channel was designed to get you to think. I'm not here to tell you how to think. I'm telling you to think. What they are presenting on that NBC is absurd, it is stupid, it is wrong, and should never be put on the air. Period. It's just like Kony 2012. I had nothing wrong with the charity. I didn't disagree with the charity at all. I actually disagree with the first 3 minutes of that video, and if you watch what they said and watch what I said and compare the two, you'll see how stupid that first 3 minutes of that video was. It was so stupid that they had to shut down the comments because they knew how stupid it really was. If you're going to run an organization, see, the thing is, there's a big difference between me and everybody else. When I make a mistake, hey, I'm just one kid with a bunch of books. I'm not being bankrolled here. I don't have a full support staff, that kind of thing. It's just me and the books. These people are an organization. They have a staff. They have resources, financial resources, and other resources that they can turn to and rely upon. They are more accountable for what they say on their presentations than I am. A 2-bit data processor who works in retail 35 hours a week and doesn't have resources to do the kind of things that really need to be done is a lot different than a full organization. It's that simple. And when I do make a mistake, I do try to correct it. And this was done recently, despite the fact that I don't agree with marriage and credit. Apparently that's the law. But let me tell you something. Just because the law is written, well, technically you're married, but if your spouse doesn't sign the contract, the deed, then he's not liable for the debts. Let me tell you something. It will still come back to haunt you, because if the spouse that is in debt is constantly upset, constantly having medical bills, constantly have this, and you're trying to bail them out. And let me tell you something. If you try to bail out the person that's in debt, you can run up your own bill, which can in turn ruin your credit score. As you're trying to financially support this person that's in debt, and then you're creating your own debt, which can put you in the clink. See what I mean? So, their credit score may not directly affect your credit score, but because you're trying to be so loving as to try to get them out of that mess, you can end up drowning yourself in your own mess. And yes, that can lower your credit score. So there really is a point to all that. Like I said, if you have any questions, by all means leave a comment down here below. I'll be happy to answer them. And I'm going to make a video, 150,000 views, and I'll be listing some more of these comments, and I will be responding back. And don't think I won't. That's one nice thing about this channel. I will respond back, and I'll tell you how it is. Like it, dislike it, I don't care. Point is, I'll tell you how it is. And I know that Prince Michael 722 would agree with me on this. I'll tell you how it is. Alright, well that's video number 1800 for you. There'll be a lot more videos yet to come. I will tell you more in a future video, so stay tuned.